Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dylan Knostman here with Kick Sports, and I am joined today by a very, very special guest, OKTAGON middleweight in the quarterfinals of the TipSport Gamechanger tournament, South African Mark Hulme. First of all, thank you so much for joining me, and how are you doing today? How's training camp been so far?
Man, great to be here with you. Thank you for having me on the show. And training camp couldn't be going any better, man.
That's fantastic. So obviously, you're in this tournament, big prize at the end. You're facing somewhat of a Czech favorite, Dominik Humburger, coming up in this next round. Obviously, had a crazy fight in his first round. Talk to me a little bit about the tournament as a whole and how you kind of view this matchup going into it with Dominik.
I mean, first of all, big shout out to Octagon. The TipSport Gamechanger has truly been a game changer in my life.
Mm,
The first fight against Andreas Michialidis, being somewhat of a favorite as I understood it going into the fight, was an absolute pleasure to face off against him. And I'm really, really happy with the fact that I dropped him and
mm,
then ultimately got the submission finish. Quicker than Alex Pereira, I might add. And
mm,
then Dominik Humburger, I like the way you said it, a fan favorite. Naturally so. I mean, he was born there. He serves in the army. He's,
mm.
like doing some good stuff for his people. But that definitely doesn't mean skill-wise that he squares up even remotely close to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like how you mentioned the Michailidis, how you dropped him in that first round, because I think obviously you've been kind of known as a grappler throughout your career. Your ground game has been kind of what you made your money on, but you showcased some fantastic striking, obviously, in that fight, put him on the ground, and then got the job done. Talk to me a little bit about this development in your game and how you feel like you've really improved within, your striking or even just other areas of mixed martial arts over the last few years.
Excellent question, man. So, I mean, if I look back at my career, I think I went pro around about 2013.
Hmm.
I had a couple of fights, 2013, 2014, 2015. And then one day I got to the gym and I asked myself a question, okay, like this, I'm not just doing this for shits and giggles. Like I'm
Yeah.
doing this as a profession and naturally I want to face off against the best guys in the world and potentially be known as one of the best MMA competitors in the world.
Hmm.
And the question that arose was, why does the top 10 people in the UFC back then who like has some of the best MMA athletes in the world, what do they all have in common? And the answer came back to me as, well, they all specialize in something. If you look
Hmm.
at Conor McGregor, I would say he specializes in timing.
Yeah.
If you look at John Jones, he specializes strategically, but I mean, he's just a physical specimen as well. You look at Khabib, he's a grappler. You look at, so everyone has something that they are like, everyone's scared. They don't want to face him there. And I took
Hmm.
stock of where I was at. I mean, the reality is everyone can say, oh, I want to bang, I want to knock people out, I want to, but my fights, even if you look at my amateur record, 16 fights, 14 wins, 12 finishes. All of them, or not all of them, I'm lying. 11 of those finishes coming by submission, and the one knockout I had was in 15 seconds in in the first round. So, okay, the answer was, okay, you're pretty damn good at jiu-jitsu, but you're nowhere close to being in the 1% or range. So I actually took a lot of time off to
Yeah.
focus on my jits. And when
Hmm.
I came back, I took like a good year, 2, maybe 3 years sabbatical from MMA. And when I came
Hmm.
back, it gave me a lot of confidence in my striking. But people must always remember the way you fight in the gym doesn't directly translate into the cage. You have to get
100%.
you have to get that competitive, you have to get that game ready, if I can call it that.
Hmm.
So I took a lot of time to focus on jits. I took a lot of time to focus on wrestling, especially when I moved from my first camp to CIT. My
Hmm.
wrestling started elevating to another level as well. But deep down, what I know is that if I want to be competing against the best in the world, it's not purely about records. You have to
Yeah.
put on a show. People need
Mhm.
to want to see you fight. And that's where I find myself now in my career is I've won a decent amount of fights. I've won 13 fights. I've only really lost two. The one I was disqualified. I was a little bit hot-headed when I was
Yeah.
younger.
Yeah.
And where I find myself now is I'm really comfortable with. Uh, I had a little giggle to myself the other day, thinking back. The subject is about manifestation, and
Yeah.
then thinking back to when I was a child, and like naively so, I said, I'm gonna be so damn good on the ground that people don't want to go there with me,
Hmm.
and then I'm gonna start knocking people.
Yeah.
And if I look where I find myself now, it's like I don't think anyone really wants to grapple with me. No one really wants to wrestle with me. They probably would if they had to.
Hmm.
But for me, in the next step of my career, I'm all about putting on explosive performances. I'm not going in there merely to win. I'm going in there to perform and to perform to the greatest of my abilities. And in saying that,
Hmm.
the time that I've spent at CIT has greatly elevated my striking. And I mean, like I could be wrong, just fact check this, but in the last 2 years, I've had about six, maybe seven fights, and my
Hmm.
confidence in the cage is also growing to the point now where when I faced off against Michialidis, yeah, I mean, I hope everyone knows and sees it the same. I didn't take him down. I dropped him. I followed him
Yeah.
to the floor to try and finish him with a
Hmm.
TKO, and he put his head in between my arms, and that's just, it's not something that anyone will let go. So what happened was in the first few seconds, Michaelidis came out and he threw like two haymakers. One clipped me, and as soon as he clipped me, I got a smile in my head. I was like, this motherfucker is here to do business, the same as me. Someone's going
Yeah.
down, and
Yeah.
then sooner or later he hit the floor.
Yep. No, absolutely. Well, again, that's why I kind of asked that question because the confidence in the cage has been evident, and obviously you've kind of been through the kind of professional circuit too. Obviously, you've had that time in the Ultimate Fighter. You fought for the PFL. You're now with Octagon, who's kind of positioned themselves as one of the top promotions. Um, Talk to me just about that journey and kind of how it's been going through, kind of seeing how these different top promotions operate, and now kind of being with Octagon and how they're operating compared to these others.
I mean, if I look at my first taste of international competition, that was in Russia in M1 Global. And that just sparked a fire in me. It reignited my passion for the sport. And there was
Mhm.
quite a few health issues that I had to deal with in the beginning of that international competing for me. And after spending quite a bit of time, so I fought in M1 there in Russia, then I moved to ACA, then I moved back to South Africa with Team CIT, and there I was told like, okay, let's just focus on getting fights. So my next few fights I fought here in South Africa, local promotion. From there, I've went over to Abu Dhabi. I fought there in Abu Dhabi. I accompanied the middleweight champ, Dricus to Toronto, where he fought and won his title. And I got a fight there at Unified MMA. So I fought
Yep.
there, and that was like, I mean, I already knew I was going to the Ultimate Fighter. I still took the fight.
Yeah.
And from there, I went to the Ultimate Fighter, fought there, shit happened, came back, and just reassessed. And at that stage, I didn't know where I was going. I honestly, I had no idea. I've told a lot of people. I don't know if you're familiar with Stoicism,
Hmm.
but
Absolutely.
there's I might be mixing two of them, but amor fati and memento mori. I think it's
Hmm.
memento mori is remember you will die.
Yeah.
And in the Ultimate Fighter, I died a metaphorical death. I
Yeah.
came home and I didn't know what was next. I was back in the gym. I had a bicep reconstruction, straight
Hmm.
back into the gym. And one day I just get a call, hey, Octagon might be interested in signing you. Not really how do you feel about it, just like, let's see if we can make this happen. I'm like, who's Octagon?
Yeah.
I
With a
go,
K. Yeah.
yeah, like I've never heard of Octagon, man. And
Yeah.
then I start Googling and YouTube and Instagram. I'm like, damn, these people are putting up a show. I mean, am I sleeping on a rock or something that I haven't heard of
Yeah.
Octagon?
Hmm.
And before you know it, I signed with them. And look, I've been to all the big promotions now, I would say,
Yeah.
and Octagon really measures up, bro. The way they take care of their athletes, they really they understand that we as the fighters are the commodity, and we are there to do one thing, and that is put up a show for the fans. And I really like that they're going above and beyond. I mean, I saw the other day someone fought there for the Infinity Belt. And if I'm
Yeah.
correct, Yara Prohashka, UFC,
Hmm.
previous UFC light heavyweight champion, walked them out
Yeah.
to the cage.
He's
It's a
carrying it
show.
out to the cage up above his head.
He,
Yeah.
you know, like it's crazy, man, and to be a part of something like that is truly spectacular. I count my blessings every day, and so looking forward to leaving it all in the cage on the 9th of August.
Absolutely. Um, so you mentioned obviously, training with Team CIT, one of the, kind of bigger stories in terms of gyms in the last few years, in my opinion, and just Dricus Duplessis and obviously guys like Cameron Simon. Talk to me a little bit about the development of MMA, not only in South Africa, but Africa as a whole. I mean, obviously the PFL just had an event there, last week, so obviously
Mm,
promotions are starting to pay
mm.
attention to Africa a little bit. Just talk to me about how you've seen that growth over the years and just how much it has improved throughout that time.
Well, one thing's for damn sure. I love the fact that people don't ask me, "Oh, you do UFC? You like getting hit in the face?" Like that stigma is gone. People know what MMA is now. Like we come from
Mhm. Yeah.
fight-rich culture. People love fighting here. We
Mhm.
one of the youngest nations that are fresh out of war, and to see the people put their desire for violence, I want to say, and actually connect that to an actual sport out there. It's incredible, and MMA is really becoming a household sport in South Africa.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, getting that recognition publicly is obviously so important for you guys as athletes too, because you're not just cage fighters, you're actual athletes and sportsmen, as opposed to just kind of the guys who, like I said, whoop each other's ass in the cage. Um, so this is a little bit more of a deep cut question. So I have a friend in South Africa, and he actually told me about back in 2020, you made a walk from Johannesburg all the way to Cape Town. I don't know a ton of details, but obviously that's a fascinating kind of journey to undertake. Talk to me a little bit about that experience, what was behind that, and just what that was like, man.
Well, I'm just going to interrupt you. What's your friend's name?
His name's Jordan Hinckley. He trains. He's an amateur fighter in South Africa. So I don't know if he
Uh,
knows you personally, but he said
I
he heard about the journey.
Yeah,
Anyways,
look,
yeah,
I highly doubt I know him, but Jordan, shout out to you, my brother.
yeah,
It's not something I talk about a lot. It was during a time of my life that I really had less than nothing. I was sleeping on
yeah,
people's couches. We don't have enough time for me to go into all the detail, but the
that's
gist
fair.
of it was I felt that my career, the one thing that I'm passionate about, the one thing that I chose to dedicate my life to, was being taken away from me.
Mhm.
And the confusion that came with that is, God, what else is there? What do you want me, like if you don't
Yeah,
want me to fight, what do you want me to do? Because I'm not gonna go sit in an office and make money for some other, like that doesn't make sense to me. And I've always walked a tight road with God. I've always had a spiritual, like a deep spiritual side to me.
yeah,
And I believe in sacrifices, man.
mhm,
And I mean, whether that's right biblically or not, but my view was I was actually sitting at my sister's place one day, and remember, I didn't have a place of my own, and
yeah,
I was sitting there, and I'm trying to like I have this urge, like I'm late, like I'm headed somewhere, but I'm like late for this appointment, but I don't know what it is, and I mean 2020 that was COVID as well, so that just added to a whole lot of shit.
yeah,
And I was sitting at my sister's place one day, and I told her like, sis, I need some answers from God. Like, I need to meet him on a mountain somewhere, like I
yeah,
really want to pray and get these answers. And she just like, as a joke said, well, there's a mountain in Cape Town. And I was like, okay, then I'll walk there, because the flights were grounded. You couldn't
yeah,
cross any borders.
yeah,
She was like, okay. And bro, I kid you not, it was like within a week. The first friend I actually phoned, Andley, I phoned her. I was like, hey, Andley, I'm thinking of walking to Cape Town. Like, Like I'm just talking to some people. What do you think? He's like, are you crazy, bro? You can't do that. You're gonna die. Like, get that out of here. I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, Adley, goodbye.
Yeah.
Phone the
Thanks
next
for the advice.
person, and then,
Yeah.
bro, within a matter of a week, I had a backpack, I had a tent, I had a sleeping bag. Um, and I just took my phone, Google Maps. I had this vision of like ending the walk somewhere on the beach. I zoomed in. I checked there's a nice beach in Cape Town called Diaz Beach in the Cape of Good Hope. And
Mhm.
I set the map to walking. I clicked start, and like literally a week later, I just started walking, bro. And it was a 50-day journey to Cape Town.
Yeah.
And if that had been all, it would have been more than enough. But I still had my business to take care of in the mountains. And one of
Yeah.
my friends I was speaking to while like in the little week that I had to plan this thing, he told me about a ultra marathon that they do on the Cape Town mountain. And I didn't know back then it was an ultra marathon. I just said, okay, cool. I look into it, but I'm gonna do it. And when I looked into it, it's a 107-kilometer track from like between 12 peaks. I think it's
Jeez.
called 13 peaks. It's called the
Yeah.
13 Peaks Challenge.
Yeah.
So when I got to Cape Town, it was like, okay, well, I've walked 50 days for this. Now the final stage is ahead of me.
Yeah.
And I started my walk like on a like whatever day it was, but it was quite early in the morning.
Mhm.
And for each of the peaks that I summited, I had a prayer. And
Yeah.
mostly I was praying for the country, praying for the people that I met on the way, praying for people that's helped me.
Mhm.
And on the 13th peak, it was my turn. I was going to pray for myself.
Yeah.
And it took me way longer. I thought I could do it in 24 hours. Day two had come and I was in bad shape. I had run out of food. My GPS that I was using, I was like on 5% battery, so no way I was going to finish it there.
Yeah.
And I came like this close to quitting. Like, I like to always say, like, technically I did quit, but the reality set in, like, okay, you quit now. Like, like, no one gives a shit about you, bro.
Yeah.
And not in a bad, negative way, but the reality is, if you want help, you're going to have to help yourself.
Yeah.
And I got up and I walked to the closest town. I charged my phone. I got some food, and that same day I finished on the 13th peak. And when I got there, and it was time now to plead my case before God.
Yeah.
And bro, I was so fulfilled by the whole journey to Cape Town, by just like the walk through the mountains, that as I was approaching the peak, and this was like dusk had already set, so it's pitch dark. I'm on the mountain, like I'm in alone.
Yeah.
And when I got to the peak, all I could say was, I love you, God, and let your will be done.
Yeah.
And long story short, while I was in the mountains, my manager, Givi Papaskua, he reached out to me. He got me a fight in Russia. I went
Mhm.
back to Russia. I had my fight there. I won. I came back home, and I mean, yeah, like I could keep telling this story.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. But
Yeah.
ultimately, it was a search for
Yeah.
purpose and meaning.
No, that's an incredible story, man. Thank you so much for sharing. And obviously just like that resilience and, you know, that drive to continue your journey, I feel like shows in your fighting career as well. So I'm sure that's just kind of helped your whole mentality so much. All right. Well, last but not least, obviously you got your fight coming up on the 9th. Do you have anybody, any sponsors, teammates, coaches, anybody you'd like to thank, for really helping out with this camp preparation?
I'm gonna keep it short and
Okay.
sweet. Tune in on the 9th of
Mhm.
August. Come watch me lay it all on the line. Leave it all in the cage. And then a special thank you to Paul from Johnny's Liquor. He's been supporting me since day one. Since I actually walked to Cape Town, he's been by my side.
That's
And
awesome.
then Yeet Marketing, they've newly been on board, and you guys make it happen for me. Like, I mean, life would be a lot tougher without sponsors. So thank you guys. And then to each and every person who's tuning into this broadcast, I appreciate you. I really hope that you catch some inspiration and that you do something with your life. Like follow
Yeah.
your heart. Yeah, follow your heart and tune in on the 9th of August. Watch me slay Dominik Humburger.
Absolutely. Yep. Octagon 74, August 9th. Tune in. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic fight. Once again, thank you so much for joining me, Mark. And yeah, can't wait to see you do your thing. Have a good one, man.
Dylan, much love, brother. Thank you so much,
Yes.
dude.